Hi everyone, Mature Simmer here. So we're back on Elmcreek, and I finally got that stuck pallet out of the ground after kind of manhandling it with the forks a bit. So we start out here with some good news. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get that placed on the trailer, and I'm going to go ahead and cultivate the fields right now. Basically where we seem to be at community-wise, several of the issues I've raised I've seen voiced by others from Giants on Giants forums as well, about the slow progress, the challenges in moving forward and so forth, posed by the season's calendar. So there's definitely kind of an agreement about that. Doesn't necessarily mean that anything's going to change, but it's definitely being noticed by others and commented on, which seems to align with the fact that I'm not missing anything, because there's definitely others that are running into the same problem. With regards to any mods, obviously I'm always looking for what's happening there every day. So there are things that are trickling in here and there, and they're mainly game experience mods. So there have been things like the government subsidy sign, which you can place on your field, on your farm, and basically just get money every hour, but that's obviously a cheat if you're trying to actually play, because you're just getting money for nothing. Especially since one of the versions will give you $350,000 every hour. So yeah, that can get to be substantial money, but I suppose if there are options out there, if someone is looking to play and just move forward, which certainly I've done at times in the past in FS19. There were the easy development tools which allowed you to add or remove money, which I think many people used, including myself, for putting videos together, when you're doing role play and so forth, and you need to pay for something the game won't allow you to pay for, or you're just trying to get the environment set up and so forth. So there is something available basically that allows finance to be moved around. And then there is the mod, which I did put here, which you can see I've got the ability to create fields now with the Y key, which is typically in base game, stuck to just plows. But there's always been a debate in the community about, well, cultivators turn the soil, other things turn the soil. So this just expands it to allow that. And then the other mod that is, once again, not necessarily a cheat. It just allows something that, if you had an agreement with the farmer you were contracting with, certainly can happen, is it allows you to collect straw off the field, so you can not only harvest a field for someone as a contract, and you always had the ability to get the extra crops at the end, a little bit, which usually amounted to a partial trailer load, but could still be several thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, depending on what map and where you were at. But you were then not able to, if you put a straw swath down, to pick that up, because you'd still get the "you don't own this land." So that eliminates that. And so you can at least play that way and say, you've negotiated with the farmer who's giving you the contract. They didn't contract you for baling, and they're fine if you want to go ahead and bale things, because you're also not, in that case, since it's not a baling contract, you would have to have the baling equipment yourself or lease it or something. So certainly doesn't feel like a cheat, and something that would at least allow you to do reasonable gameplay. But yeah, the government subsidy mod is definitely something that, unless I'm just specifically trying to move forward incredibly fast, not something I would do. But it at least gives us the option, potentially, if there's no other way to manipulate money, if there is a series that we want to work on that we need to buy a lot of fields or equipment, you understand, if we need a lot of money, where we could throw a sign in and just basically generate income by running time for a little bit and go from there. So that's all that's come out. No maps have appeared yet, which is not surprising to me. I mean, we're only a few days away from release, and Giants only recently, I think even less time, because I think they didn't release the new editor. They didn't release the new editor for FS22, the Giants editor, until a day or two after release as well, so there's even been less time. So, but I'm hoping within the next few weeks or months we'll see some. The question is, if they're brand new, if someone just started putting it together when the editor came out, the likelihood of it being a significantly involved map is probably going to be pretty low. But not being a modder myself, I don't know the level of effort, but I know I've heard some of the maps that we were most impressed with in FS19, modders were working on them for months, if not a year, so I wouldn't expect something earth-shattering in the next couple weeks, but we could be surprised. So for now, we'll use what we have and what came with the game and do what we can. So as I said, it's July. With the calendar, we are able to actually plant something today if we wanted as well. But I'm likely going to wait until the spring, because unless I want to repeat the crops that I had, well, which I may, because we're not getting that much, so I may actually go ahead and do that. Make sure we have more than enough food for our chickens, and then kind of keep working toward a base set of production chains, because yeah, I think I would focus on basically the grain mill and the bakery to start with making bread, and then keep expanding from there, with the ultimate goal to then keep buying some more fields and having more work to do. I still don't have a water tanker. I have not gotten enough money yet, because we're waiting until the winter to sell the crops we did harvest to get some additional dollars, so I can't get my greenhouse going. But that's the plan for today, so I will get these cultivated, and then I'll determine what I'm doing next. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put the cultivator away at this point. And then we'll have to figure out what makes sense to do next. So I'm going to hop over here. I know I need to move the pallet of the honey at least, because it's full and I'm worried things won't spawn. So I'll go ahead and get that taken care of at this point. Take a look at, didn't have the forks down far enough. Make sure we have a full crate. We do, 120 liters. Challenge, what's going on? Okay, now I think I have it. Okay, alright, well, it's sliding back, so that'll work. Looks like we have room for eggs still, but we'll take a look at that after we get this honey placed on the trailer. Certainly for sheer number of pallets, honey will keep us pretty busy, although it's just 120 liters. Challenges, I don't know again how many pieces of egg are liters. I thought they were blocking me, but it was the trailer. I better be careful not to push that one off. Alright, it's wiggling there, but I think I'm okay. Alright, got that locked away. Put the straps on. I'm not sure if it caught that front pallet. Let me jump back in the trailer. I'm going to give it a shove and see. Oop, I'm in the truck. Alright, now I'm in the tractor. Okay, gotta raise the forks. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's still being held on by the straps, so that's great. So we're okay there. You run over and take a look at the eggs. So we have room for more. But are the chickens doing okay? They seem to have food. We go to the animal. Oh, it's not in this list here. There it is. So yeah, they're 100% productive. And it looks like we've got plenty of room for eggs, so we might be able to fit like 6 pallets there still. There's no reproduction, probably because we're maxed out at the 30 that we have. So I think that's all they're going to be able to do. Alright, we've got some more honey coming out. I just don't know if a second pallet's going to fit there. I know we've had 2 pallets spawn before. I think we'll be okay, at least for the one. So let's see. We can't plant anything right now. I think I'm going to try to do... I'm trying to figure out how to move things along. I think maybe contracts are something that I should consider, because I know I can likely make some money there. I'd like to grow grapes and olives at some point, but the challenge is the cost of the equipment, so I don't think that's going to be affordable in actuality. So I think contracts are going to be our only real option in the short term. So we can bail. You can see there are like really good contracts. So I can see the size, 6 hectares. We lose a little bit of money because we'll have to borrow equipment, but certainly there looks like a lot of bailing contracts available. And I have options, but those obviously do take some work, and I just really don't know how long it'll take, because I'll have to bale them, wrap them, deliver them after mowing the grass. So there's a lot going on there. Let me see. All right, there's fertilizing contracts down here. We have equipment for that. I'm probably going to take those. At least try this one that's larger. We'll go ahead and do that. Alright, there it is. And I'm not sure on this one. Can I accept it? I can. Oh, that's different from FS19, because before it would tell you you had an active contract, so that's great. So yeah, in this case, it might make sense to go ahead with the smaller one. It's only about 5:30. We can't do anything else today, so yeah, let's go ahead and go run over to field 11. I'm going to use this tractor, so I'll drop the seeder off. I'll head on out. Yeah, but the hope is that I can make enough money and maybe do it fast enough that I can start to look at other options in the game and obviously move along, purchase additional fields, go into additional areas. So I'm going to run over to this greenhouse because I see this water. I'm just wondering if it's a rain barrel that will collect water. Doesn't let me do anything with it. Let's see if I go in there. Oops. Alright, so it looks like we've got water, tomatoes, lettuce. Tomatoes are 1 water to 1 tomato. We only get 5 lettuce. But strawberries we get, wow, double. So we get 32 strawberries from 16 liters of water. So production-wise, that's the best. I'm just not sure how to... Can I pick? Yeah, let me activate. Okay. And if I activate the others, will it let me? Oh, it looks like, yeah, it will. But for now, I'm going to focus on strawberries, because that's going to give me the biggest output. And again, we're about trying to generate income. So we'll leave it there. Close the doors. But yeah, clearly... Oh, I see. That just sprinkles them from the water. But I still have to fill it, obviously. So let me go ahead and then get this done. Alright, so we have a little under 900 liters in the spreader here. And we did all 3 of our fields. But let's see where 11 is. Is it up here? No, almost 12. Oh, there it is. It's blinking. So that's nice too. Actually shows us. So what is that? I'm wondering if those are walking paths. I don't know that we'll be able to see it. It looks a bit like a maze, but I think I'm just going to need to take the roads and maybe look at that at a different time. So what are we at? We'll take this road here, turn right, then immediately turn left, head up along the river, and then that will get us to the field. So I think I know where we're going. So let's head on over. But we have 900 liters of fertilizer left. We started, if you remember, from the couple pallets we bought with, I think it was 1,500. And then we were able to do our 3 fields with that small amount. But once again, we don't have the sizing of our fields, where at least here in the contracts window I can start to learn a little bit about that. So I have no basis for comparison on field 11, how it compares to the fields we have. But we'll see what we can get done on this field, and if I need to, I can always go, obviously, get more fertilizer at some point. I'm sure I will need to between doing these 2 contracts. So I think this is where we need to turn. And then, yeah, we immediately go left. This will give us a way to see more of the map, which will be nice. We can get familiar with things. We change to being within the tractor. It might just be a little more pleasant to see, a little bit easier to drive too, being directly behind the wheel. So I think that's the field up there, so I think we're be able to start here, but once again, well, what is that? Is there a street light here? Oh, there's a car behind us. Okay. Just saw that flash, and I didn't know why it suddenly did that. So the challenge we're going to have here is, because the crop is already growing, it's going to be hard to see what we've covered. But do my best here and make sure that we're covering things, because the goal is certainly to not have to go over the field more than we need to, because that will waste some time, but more importantly, it will waste fertilizer that we don't have. So I'm going to go ahead and make a headlands pass here. That'll be the simplest thing to start with. Okay, so heading up around this turn here. Oh, wow, that's some nice thunder. We've definitely done improvements in the weather sounds with FS22. Used to have the rain, but never really had any thunder, but that was pretty realistic for sure. Definitely makes me feel like we're out here in the middle of a summer thunderstorm. Alright, so I think right about here we should be turning. The trick here is trying to make sure that I cover things and don't leave a gap, but also don't stay so close that once again I'm creating more passes to cover the field to be able to complete the contract. So as I think about things at this point, I believe we're going to get paid about just under $5,000 for this field. Because we're using our own equipment, we don't have any deductions that'll come out. And in that case, there's a water tender available for $9,000, I believe. But let me see how I'm covering. It looks like I'm okay so far. Let me turn off this plowing and lime. I hope they fix that later, but yeah, it just is distracting on the map. So that looked good, but just worried how to position myself here. I'm worried I'm a little too far up, but I guess we'll find out. I think I'm just going to do this field tonight. It's getting dark already, and I think I'll wait to do the other contract during the day at some point. It's just a lot easier to keep your bearings when you can look at landmarks. Trying to find some at night is hard. So let me take a look. Oh, yeah, no, I did miss. Alright, well, let me go a little tighter here. We certainly can see the edge of the field, and we know we just have a little bit of a pass, so this will be cleaner to get, and then I can always go back and do whatever I need on the other side to get to contract completion. I'll just have to turn to the right and get that next piece, maybe line up with the map if I need to. Oh, well, we're done, so that's good. Let's go ahead and get our pay. There we go, completed. Collect. And we'll now look at where's 69. There it is. Compared to that, yeah, that's a lot bigger. So we've started at almost just under 900 and we're down to under 300, so we used 600 here. There's no way we'll get that field done. And I'm wondering, can I drive through there? But I think I'm going to save that for a later time. I'll just head back up to the main road. So we'll drive on back. And we'll go and try to get that water tender. I think it's just called a water tanker or a tanker in the game, but I refer to those type of vehicles as a water tender normally, so we'll head on down this way. The nice thing with the fertilizer contracts is definitely they're a lot simpler to execute. We're baling, while obviously there was a higher payment, it's just a lot more steps in the process. We would have to mow, do something with the grass, handle it in some way, usually, and then bale it, and sometimes wrap it, and then deliver it. So there's a lot of steps. With fertilizer, you just run across and cover the field, and as we just saw, contract gets completed, you're able to collect it and move on. We just don't know how much fertilizer we'll need, but if we know we're making some money with contracts, it's a little easier to maybe spend for an extra pallet and not feel like we're going to have to wait months to make that up. So. Crossing over the highway here. I do like that skyline over there. I know Elmcreek's definitely, there's a lot of productions, a lot of sell points too, so I'm sure that's a mixture of both. But definitely, there's a lot going on here in Elmcreek. I do love that sign there, Ravenport, which if you've not played FS19, that was the US map there. So it's nice how Giants set that connection up here, and it seems like Elmcreek is a neighbor to Ravenport, so we know we're kind of in the same vicinity. So we'll go ahead and pull in here. Let's see what we want to do with this. Go ahead and we'll drop it off here. I'll deal with it tomorrow, but now I'll head off to the store. So I'm hoping I'm accurate. I think there was something for 9,000. I guess it would be better to check, but I'm just going to be optimistic and assume I'm remembering correctly and that we've got enough money, because that would be a little disappointing if we didn't. But if we can pick up or purchase this tanker, we can get water to our strawberries, and at least we'll make a little bit of progress overnight as opposed to waiting to do this in the morning. Up on the store. If I recall, everything kind of spawns here by these trees, so I'm going to pull up ahead so that I'll be ready to go. I know it's getting kind of late. It's about 9 o'clock, but hopefully they're still open. Yep. So it should be under animals. Yep, there it is. Oh, it's 9,500 instead of 9,000. It looks like the difference with the larger ones is also, this just does water. The others do other things. I think the first one's milk. But yeah, we just need water. We'll go with this. Nothing to customize, just wide wheels. Yeah, we don't need those. We're not going to be going anywhere that requires that. Go ahead and buy that. And there it is. So let's go get that over to our farm. Over before the day runs out on us. Now the question is, I wonder if I can fill this from the stream in some way instead of using the cistern. Again, I don't know if that's what they call it here. I think it's just a water tank in Farming Simulator, but in my area something like that would be known as a cistern. So that's likely what I'll call it. But I know we have that, but I'm not quite sure that there isn't some fee associated with using that. So if I could just get water myself from all the water sources we have around town, that would be best. So I'm going to go ahead and try that first, as the stream is here right next to the cistern. So let me get down there. Pull up the help menu, see if anything pops up. So crossover, nope. See, I'm used to being able to fill those with water, but usually they need to be submerged a bit. So I think I need to find a water source that is deep enough to drive the tank or back the tank into, and then that might work. So for now, I'll head over here, and maybe it'll just go. Nope, I'm getting charged. $38 for that, so it looks like about 10 liters per dollar. So I'll probably go ahead and get some more, because I know I need more water than that. I'm almost certain. So maybe I'll try to fill it this one time. No, that's taking a lot more than I think, so I'll stop it here at some point. But yes, as we drive around later, we'll have to take a look and see if we can find any deeper water sources. See, we're only 46% full, and that would get us really close to being out of money. So yeah, I'm not going to push it, because I don't know how much this greenhouse is going to take, but I'm thinking we can just leave the trailer here and keep filling from it. So let's go and drop that off. Wow, maybe it will take it all. It did. Maybe, I guess let's look at the amount, or the pen information, the greenhouse info. I think I need to go to productions. There we go. Alright, so maybe it uses like 5,000 where we're looking at there. So, but it looks like, yeah, we're already making some strawberries. We can store, distribute, sell, but I'll just keep it on storing for now. So I'm curious what it will do. So we'll leave that there, because I don't have any other use for it right now. And we'll get this trailer parked, and we will wrap things up for today. It's already gotten pretty late, so we'll head on over and sleep. With that, see you next time.